I mean, do you really need this laptop? I mean, you know, people always want to buy the latest and the best and the fastest and the fanciest. And you know, and most people then end up using the laptop for nothing like what they originally thought they were going to use it. If you are a professional DIT on location that you really need that kind of performance, you know, you have a crew waiting for you to create LUTs or grade to deliver to the playback crew, a professional editor in a post-production facility, a mobile editor that you're editing on set, and you need to be like really snappy and really fast. If you do heavy graphics, the kind of thing that is really professional, you're gonna be charging a lot of money. Then you could be charging $500, $600, $1,000 a day for that kind of work, even more, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a day. Then you need a machine that has to perform. You know, you don't want people waiting on location. But for most people, content creators for YouTube, social media, that you don't have that urgency, that you can just sit back and relax. I don't know. These machines are massive machines. They're huge. If you have the money, why not? You know, if someone gives you a Christmas present, take it, accept it. Why not? But if it's your hard-earned money, $6,100, I don't know. The performance you get with a MacBook Air is really, really good. For most people, this is gonna be more than enough. It really is incredible what you get out of this laptop, and it's super quiet, super lightweight. I don't know, this fixation for always owning the best and the latest. You watch all these YouTube videos and they all come out at the same time, and suddenly they give you this false sense of urgency that you need this laptop, you need this much power under the bonnet. And do you really? I mean, I certainly don't. I know people who do need that kind of power and they'll be buying the machines, but I edit my videos. I don't have the urgency of having super strict deadlines. And exporting, yes, it's nice to export a project in 2 minutes, but if it takes 20 minutes, who cares? You know, I mean, it's not like I've got someone breathing down my neck waiting for the video to be ready. You know, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, I go for dinner, I go to watch a movie, and the export is done. You watch all these videos about how much faster the performance is, and then suddenly gives you this false impression that you need this super fast exporting. And you really don't. I mean, you export it, you go and make yourself a coffee and go for a walk, take the dog out, and I don't know, watch a movie, talk to your family, play with your son. Who cares? 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you know, whether it's 5% faster than the previous model. Come on, you know, this silly false sense of urgency that we need. If you need that power, then yes, these laptops, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max laptops, they're amazing. They're really incredible machines. It's incredible what Apple is doing. If you have a project that will pay the kind of money that can justify a machine like that, wait for that project. Don't just buy it hoping that that project is gonna crystallize, because a lot of the times projects do fall through the wayside. They don't come through. This is what I'm trying to tell you, is only buy what you need today, okay? If you know for certain that you're gonna need that for a job happening in a month, in 3 months, and it's confirmed and your client has paid, then yes, you can justify spending that money because someone else has paid for that laptop, not you, literally. But if it's coming out of your hard-earned cash, think carefully about what you really need, okay? Because there is nothing worse than spending money on a machine that is gonna last you for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I mean, I'm still using a MacBook Pro from 2013 for crying out loud, and it performs really well. And it's a 15-inch and it gives me, for admin and emails and browsing the internet, what do you need? I mean, you don't need an M1 Max to be browsing the freaking internet. I mean, honestly, you literally stupid, and sorry to use that word in a video, if you buy this kind of machine for that kind of work. It's literally pointless. This is only if you're gonna be doing really heavy work, okay? Whether it's working with photography, lot of raw photography, video, and even video. I mean, come on, who edits 8K footage on a timeline? I mean, seriously, only a moron would do that, okay? You drop down to 1080p for offline, come on. I see videos playing 8 streams of 8K. Who does that? Nobody does that, okay? Only an idiot edits at 8K. Sorry to be so plain and call it for what it is. Nobody does that. You edit at 1080p or even 720p for offline, because what you want is you want prioritize speed over quality, okay? And yes, when you go into the grade, you grade at 1080 or even 4K. You can then export at 8K. Yeah, if it takes you all night, who cares? Go to bed, sleep, wake up the next morning, the render is done. You don't need to render a project, an 8K project in 20 minutes. Come on, who really needs that? Well, I'll tell you who needs that. A post-production facility that is working in the latest, Steven Spielberg movie, and they need to render everything because everything has to be sent to different studios and everything needs to be done in real time, then yes, that's justified. These machines will be amazing for this type of people. But for you at home, in a studio, in a small production office, honestly, if you have the work, it makes perfect sense. If you have the money, it makes perfect sense. If someone gives you the laptop as a gift, Christmas is around the corner, really clever of Apple, by the way, then yes, why not? Someone gives you, it doesn't cost you a penny, take it. But for most people, really, the M1 MacBook Air, or even the 13-inch MacBook M1 MacBook Pro, they were the best laptops around only 2 weeks ago. And literally, I know that I keep going around this, but for most people, it's enough. It really is enough. Anyway, that's my rant for this. I don't know how much of this will make it into the edit. I've been talking for 10 minutes. I might just squeeze it down to like 1 minute. All the PG section bits and all the swearing. But anyway, let me show you what this thing can do. Okay, so here we are in Davinci Resolve. I'm also recording this on a camera and not doing a screen recording, because the screen recording software takes about 10 or 15% of performance. So I'd rather just record on camera, and that way you get the full performance. Anyway, we're gonna start playing back. This is a single stream, and as you can see, no problem. This is now 10 streams of Blackmagic 6K RAW on a MacBook Air, no problem. This is 3 streams, which is what you normally would use for editing offline. You don't edit 10 streams, and certainly you don't do it at 4 on a 4K timeline or 8K timeline. This is iPhone 12, 10-bit log 3 4K, no problem, playback. This is DJI Pocket 2 4K. I don't expect this to be a problem. This is 10 files, exactly the same, stacked up. That's why it all looks a single image, but they're all 10 different ones. We are now on Sony A7S3 4K. This was shot, all these shots that you're gonna see were done at 120 frames per second, so it's real-time playback. And this is 10 streams of A7S3. And now we are on R3D files 8K. Okay, this you see that black because there is a transition there, and you see the moment I turn on the playback. Okay, but we are on offline mode, which means that you don't do any fancy grades or transitions. We move on to first just literally playback for offline. So that's one channel. This is 2 channels, 2 streams. At 3 tracks, it will start to drop frames, but all you need to come is to play back and then just drop it to 1/4 of a resolution, and then the 3 streams will play just fine. And now we're gonna do 10 streams of R3D 8K files, and these are files from Red's website, downloaded from Red's website. As you can clearly see, they are complete files Okay, so you don't think I'm just playing a little strip. Okay, so that's 1 file, 2 files, 3 files, 4, 5. See, anyway, 10 files. So they're all playing fine at quarter resolution. Okay, let's put this back onto half res. This is now ARRI Alexa, ARRI Raw 4K. Okay, again, these are files that you can download from ARRI's website if you want to replicate this. And again, there is a transition, it's going to go to black, but this is another file. And now we're going to do 10 streams of ARRI Raw 4K. No problem, you can see them. This is now Apple ProRes XQ. You can see the 444. Okay, and as you can see, these are files ARRI Raw. These are 3D files. Okay, so this is 10 streams of ProRes XQ. Yeah, this is really intensive. Okay, 10 streams or 10 tracks. Nobody edits like this. Okay, this is just a really extreme and silly example to show you what a MacBook Air can do. And you can optimize things way more. So, you know, if you're playing RAW from Red, you can go into the settings and then say, well, I want more playback. So you can even go 1/16. You can do the same for Blackmagic RAW. You can go for half res, full res. For instance, if we go full res, okay, the 10 streams, they'll probably struggle. Okay, let's do a half res. Okay, so full res, a struggle. Okay, but nobody edits on offline at 10 streams. It's just insane. Okay, but 1 stream, no problem. 3 streams, no problem. Yeah, again, you might say, well, I don't need full res, I can just go half res or quarter res. Again, for offline, you prioritize speed over quality. Nobody cares about having the sharpest and the cleanest images. You want to make sure that your edits go fast and the cuts and everything. So it's all about workflow. I'm not having any cache. You could have smart cache or user cache, and then obviously things are sped up. So there is a lot of things that you can do to the footage to make sure that you get even more playback out of this computer. Okay, so we're playing half res. Literally, I mean, you don't need more for offline. Okay, but we are now gonna go into sort of a grading part of things. Okay, and effects. Okay, so here I have stacked up 4 title effects. Okay. So this is processor intensive, okay? So you can see it took a while, the first bit, but then once it's in the RAM, you know, it's playing fine, okay? Maybe a few drop frames there. Once it's in the RAM, it plays back fine. Now, you're not gonna have this many titles, okay? So let's say that you drop 2 of them, okay? No problem, 2 of them. Normally you would have 1 title, maybe, just that, okay? You can even play back at full res. No problem. Okay, you know, again, I'm giving you really silly and extreme examples, and nobody is gonna have all of these many. Okay, so I'm just literally doing some things that are totally irrational and illogical. Nobody edits 10 streams of A7S3 footage. Come on, let's be serious here, okay? And then again, when you're on grading and graphics, you bring down everything to 1 single track. You don't grade 10 streams, okay? But look, I'm giving you now, again, we're playing back, you know, we've seen the playback. This is 10-bit log 3, as you can see, it's graded, playback, no problem. There is no need to grade 10 streams of log 3. This is A7S3 real-time playback, okay? Okay, this is a bit jittery there. We drop down to half resolution, you get all the playback that you need, okay? R3D files, okay? So once the transition is loaded onto the RAM, you know, it plays back fine. You know, that's real-time playback there, you know. That's real-time grading, 2 clips or 2 streams, no problem. Again, You don't have this in your final edit, you just have one stream. But I'll just give you an example of grading two R3D 8K files, you know, playback, real time, no problem, okay? Let's go full res, okay? Why not? You know, you get a little bit of jitters, but again, you don't do 2 frames, you don't do 2 streams, you just do a single stream, okay? So if we were to remove that one, full frame, full resolution, graded, no problem, okay? That's what you do. You bring everything down to one channel, you know? But again, I'm just giving you extreme examples, okay? Anyway, ARRI Alexa, ARRI Raw, okay? So we are playing back ARRI Raw directly onto, and this is graded, and this grade has several layers. So I've got, I graded the green, as you can see here. I basically, anything that is green, I didn't finesse this, okay? I just did something quick. Anything that is green, I changed the color to blue. And then here, I took this red and I sort of bumped it up without affecting anything else. I have some noise reduction. Again, the image doesn't need a noise reduction, but if I do the noise reduction, things start to sort of fall apart a little. If I bring it there, but if I drop the resolution to 1/4, let's see what happens. Okay, it's sort of plain, okay? But if I come here and then I say ARRI Alexa, instead of full res, just drop it to half res, just drop it to 1/4 res, okay? Okay, so that's noise reduction for you, okay? That's very processor intensive, okay? And again, if you need to have this level of grading with noise reductions and playbacks, then yes, maybe the MacBook Air might struggle. But most people don't need that. And again, you know, you could just quickly render this clip out, you know, and then see if the noise reduction is working well, and then just do further tweaking, you know? But most people, if we turn that off, this now plays fine. We can bring this back to half res. Sometimes you'll be surprised, full res Resolve actually plays really nice as well. So, you know, again, this is full res, half resolution. Let's make it, you know, you could be editing a full res Resolve, an ARRI RAW file or timeline. Hey, full res, why not? You know, it's just go for it. Okay, the system is struggling a little bit, but again, it's giving you full playback here. Now we're gonna have a transition, which again is gonna struggle a little at full res, but again, you don't need full res when you edit, you know? You really don't. At hard res, probably no problem. Again, the transition, no problem, okay? 10 streams of ARRI RAW, no problem. This is another one, okay? So here I have a fusion composition. I have a couple of effects here that obviously they're very processor intensive, and on top of that, this clip is graded, okay? So this is quite heavy, okay? So processing, okay? So I don't expect it to have full playback, but look, it's something almost passable as playback. And if I can, let's say that we were saying, okay, well, we need a little bit more. Let's do half res. That's too much. So you get a sense of what it is that you are working on, okay? And then obviously you get the 10 streams that there is no need to be on high resolution. Okay, and playback. And not only that, but I'm mixing ProRes 444 with ARRI RAW files. As you can see, one and this, another one. This one is ARRI RAW and this one is ARRI RAW. So the question you need to ask yourself is, do you need to do this kind of stuff in your workflow? Because if you do, then maybe this computer might not be the best. Do you want full playback at full res? Maybe not. Most people, well, probably you might not do this. You might do it in one clip. but not in every clip on your timeline. So are you okay with just one clip in your timeline where you have this effect not playing at full res or a normal playback as every other clip? Because if we were to remove these fusion effects, let's say that I bring just one of them, then things start to look much better. Okay, one single one at half res, hey, this is already full playback. Graded image, okay, graded and one effect. So how many effects you need in Fusion? Do you need 3, 4, 5? And also how intensive the Fusion effects are, because it's not the same to do a effects like this, image damage, than, for instance, maybe a vector adjustment where you stretch the image if you have an ultra wide lens, you know. So do you need all of that? If you don't have any Fusion, obviously you have absolutely no problem whatsoever. This will play fine. You can even go off full res, no problem whatsoever. Graded, okay? Now, as I said, when you do your grading, you're on single track, okay? Nobody grades this unless you have maybe one very complex composition or graphics or special effects shot. But nobody edits 10 streams, okay? You bring everything down to just the one single track. Maybe 2 if you have an effect like this, or a transition or a wipe or something. But usually grading is a single track thing, you know, full res. And here you can see. Now, this is the question. How much do you need? Is this okay for you? Because if this is more than enough performance for you, then obviously this computer is fine for you. Okay, that's full res. Do you need full res on everything? Or are you happy to have everything at half res, which still again looks totally fine? I mean, obviously this is 3 effects, but 1 will be fine. I mean, are you happy with something like this for your playback? You know, because obviously you can export at full res, but are you happy to see the real-time footage like this? You know, and again, you know, if you just do 1, you come here, you do playback at full res, and this plays fine. So again, how much more do you need? Do you need more? Maybe you do. Then again, the new MacBooks are amazing, the M1s. But if not, the MacBook Air is incredible value for money. It's giving you so much. I hope I've given you a reason as to why the MacBook Air is a relevant computer, but not just now, but for a few years. I mean, the A7S3 is not going to be obsolete in 2, 3, 4 years. ARRI Alexa shooting on ProRes XQ. Well, I mean, this is going to be the type of files that you're going to be playing for years to come, you know? I mean, R3D files, 8K. I mean, do you even shoot at 8K? I mean, do you even record at 6K? I mean, seriously. It's just like iPhone footage, could be any smartphone footage, 10 streams, you can see here, no problem. Nobody edits 10 streams in a timeline. I mean, it's just mad, okay? How much is enough? That's the key question that you need to answer to yourself. How much is enough for you? And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I've given you an insight into a MacBook Air and how much you can do with this laptop. And I'll see you in the next video.